Hello, everyone, and a really huge welcome back. This is Season 5, Episode 1 of LexTalk podcast.
It's great to be starting Season 5.
Absolutely. We're so glad you're joining us again as we explore English and linguistics here in Thailand. So whether you're an educator, maybe a parent navigating your child's learning, or honestly, just anyone who loves the English language in Thailand.
You're definitely in the right place.
You are. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the major trends, the really big shifts shaping English language teaching, ELT, across the country right now.
Yeah, we've sifted through quite a bit to really pinpoint what's driving change. Think of this as your roadmap to the current ELT landscape in Thailand.
A roadmap, I like that. It's about getting a clear picture, right? Quickly and efficiently.
Exactly. And what's really striking is the sheer momentum behind these changes. It's a dynamic field at the moment.
Okay, so where should we start? How about the digital side of things? Technology in the classroom.
Good starting point. It's almost unavoidable now, isn't it? The digital transformation in Thai ELT is really significant.
We're seeing more digital tools being used all the time.
Definitely. Platforms like, say, Google Classroom, they're becoming pretty standard for just managing things, communication.
And the more interactive stuff.
Oh, yeah. Tools like Kahoots, Quizlet, they bring in that gamification element, makes learning a bit more fun, more engaging for students.
Which is always good, but it's more than just those well-known apps, right? I hear about edtech startups, too.
That's right. There's a growing edtech scene here, and some are developing really interesting things like AI-driven feedback tools.
AI feedback, how does that actually work? Sounds quite futuristic.
Well, it's getting there. It's not just about marking right or wrong. Imagine AI that spots patterns, like maybe a student keeps making the same grammar mistake.
Okay.
And the AI gives targeted practice just for that, before it becomes a habit. That's the potential truly personalized learning support.
That could be a huge help.
It really could. We're also seeing more digital books, obviously easier to carry, multimedia, and those self-paced apps, Duolingo and the like. They give learners more autonomy outside of class time.
So are schools actually, mandating the use of these apps? How integrated is it?
It varies, of course, but yes, we see significant integration. A good example is in secondary schools. Many are building time into the schedule or homework specifically for using certain English learning apps.
Right, so it's becoming part of the routine.
Exactly. It shows a real commitment to using tech to, hopefully make learning more effective and maybe more engaging too.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Another big change seems to be how English is taught, moving away from just grammar drills.
Precisely. That's a really key trend. There's this clear ongoing move from, the traditional grammar translation method towards teaching that prioritizes actual communication.
But being able to use the language.
That's the core idea. Equipping learners to function in real-world situations, to actually talk to people, understand them, get things done in English.
So less focus on memorizing verb tables and more.
More activities like role plays, simulating real conversations. Project-based learning is big, too, students working together on a task using English. Lots more collaborative group work in general.
Okay, but if you're doing all these activities, how do you track progress? How do you set clear goals? That seems like it could get messy.
That's a very important question. And the answer increasingly lies in using things like can-do statements.
Can-do statements.
Yeah, and aligning objectives with the CEFR. That's the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. It's an international standard.
Right. I've heard of the CEFR, levels like A1, B2, etc.
Exactly. So instead of saying, today we learned the past simple, the objective becomes something like, by the end of the lesson, I can talk about my last holiday. It focuses on the practical ability.
Ah, I see. So it's outcome-based, what the student can do.
Precisely. It shifts the focus from just knowing about the language to being able to use it effectively. It gives students and teachers a much clearer sense of purpose and progress, moving beyond just textbook chapters. Much more practical.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay, another area, the kind of English being taught. It feels less focused on just, say, British or American English, too.
You're spot on. That's a really significant evolution. Thai learners are getting exposed to a much wider range of English accents.
Like?
Well, beyond the standard UKU model, they're hearing English from speakers from India, the Philippines, Singapore, various African countries, all sorts.
Which reflects reality, I suppose. Most English conversations globally aren't between two native speakers.
Exactly. So the goal is shifting. It's less about achieving that awesome, elusive, native-like fluency or accent.
And more about being understood.
Precisely. The focus is on intelligibility and functional communication. Can you understand different speakers? Can different speakers understand you? That's becoming the key measure.
And accepting English as more of a global tool.
Yes, definitely. Less as purely a marker of Western culture and more as a shared language for international communication, business, science, you name it.
Is this actually happening in classrooms? Can you give an example?
Sure. Some Thai universities, for instance, are now deliberately including listening materials, featuring a variety of non-native English speakers in their courses.
Ah, so actively exposing students to that diversity.
Right. It prepares them for the reality they'll encounter outside the classroom, interacting in a globalized world. It broadens their perspective on the language itself.
It feels much more inclusive. Now, what about teaching other subjects in English? Is that growing?
Yes, that brings us to CLIL and ESP. Content and Language Integrated Learning, CLIL, is definitely on the rise.
So, like teaching science or maths using English.
Exactly. You see it a lot in bilingual programs in international schools, but it's filtering into other areas too. The idea is students learn the subject content and improve their English at the same time.
And ESP, that's English for specific purposes.
Right. That's also expanding. Universities are offering more ESP courses tailored for specific fields, business English, English for engineers, that sort of thing.
Targeting job skills.
Very much so.
Yeah.
There's a big demand for English training linked to pre-vocational skills in key industries like tourism, hospitality.
Ah, okay. So very practical applications.
Absolutely. Think about nursing, aviation, hotel management, clear. English communication is vital in those fields, sometimes even critical for safety.
Yeah, I can see that.
So this trend really highlights how English is seen as essential for career development and for specific industries within Thailand's economy.
Makes sense. Okay, moving on. It seems English class isn't just about English anymore. I keep hearing about soft skills.
You're right, and it's a really positive development. There's a growing trend of intentionally integrating soft skills and emotional intelligence into English lessons.
Why? What's the connection?
Well, the thinking is that language learning is fundamentally about communication. And effective communication involves more than just grammar and vocabulary. It involves teamwork, problem solving, understanding different perspectives.
Intercultural competence?
Exactly, things like
Right.
that. So English class becomes a place to develop these broader life skills alongside the language itself
How do teachers actually do that?
through activities, mainly.
Yeah.
Things like digital storytelling projects where students have to collaborate, maybe group debates where they need to argue persuasively and listen to others,
Mm-hmm.
project work that requires planning and teamwork. These activities naturally require students to use English while also practicing those crucial soft skills.
Can you give us a picture of that, like a specific example?
Sure. Imagine maybe some ESL students in a rural school collaborating on a presentation about a local issue. Maybe they're using Zoom to connect because they're not all in one place.
Yeah.
They're practicing their English discussion skills, writing skills for the presentation, speaking skills when they present, but they're also learning remote teamwork, solving tech problems of Zoom glitches, building confidence. It's holistic.
Right. Learning English becomes learning how to function effectively in a team using English.
That's the idea. It's a much richer approach to language education.
Okay, finally, what about the bigger picture? Policy, teacher support.
Yeah, that's important too. We're seeing the Thai Ministry of Education actively promoting English for communication across the board, sending a clear signal from the top.
So national backing.
Yes. And alongside that, there's a definite increase in focus on CPD continuing professional development for Thai English teachers.
Helping teachers keep up with all these changes we've been talking about.
Exactly. Things like communicative language teaching, or CLT, which we discussed earlier, and blended learning, mixing face-to-face with online learning. These are often central to teacher training now.
So they're getting practical strategies.
That's the goal, equipping them with the tools and techniques to implement these more communicative, more tech-integrated approaches effectively.
Are there actual workshops and things happening?
Oh, yes. You see provincial education offices running workshops on themes like 21st century English teaching, focusing on using tech, designing communicative tasks, assessing skills differently.
So there's a systemic effort to support teachers through this transition.
It seems so. It acknowledges that these shifts require new skills and ongoing support for educators on the ground.
Wow. Okay, so it really is a period of significant change for ELT in Thailand.
It truly is. If you pull it all together,
Mm.
the digital integration, the shift to communicative and task-based learning, embracing global Englishes, CLIL and ESP becoming more prominent, that focus on soft skills, and then the policy push in teacher development.
It's a lot.
It is. These are the currents really shaping how English is taught and learned here right now.
It's quite encouraging, though. It feels like it's all moving towards making English learning more relevant, more practical for learners today.
I think that's a fair assessment. It's about adapting to meet the needs of learners in a changing world.
And speaking of meeting needs, looking ahead, our next deep dive, episode 2, is going to tackle a really crucial topic: teaching English in rural areas.
Yes, that's going to be a very important discussion. Definitely challenges and opportunities to explore there. So please do tune in for that one.
Absolutely, don't miss it. And hey, while you're thinking about it, a quick reminder, please do follow LexTalk on all our platforms.
Yep, stay connected.
Find us on our website, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Just search for @LexTalk Podcast. One word.
We love hearing from you and continuing the conversation there too.
We really do. So until next time,
Let's talk, let's learn.
let's Lex Talk.